What's up, gamers? And Forza 5150 here, EGX, and we are going ahead and doing the RTX 2080 Ti and the i9 9900K again, but this time in 1080p in the very lowest settings. So this came on a viewer request. Definitely wanted to know exactly what kind of FPS you're going to get if we take all these settings, put them all the way down at 1080p. And I understand, that you want to see, what your max frames per second is. It's kind of like my last video, which I had everything maxed out. This time we're going to take everything and we're going to put everything all the way down, take off anti-aliasing, everything. There's really a ceiling that you get with CSGO. No matter what you do, you kind of just get the same FPS when you have so much information going. So we're going to reset the FPS here, and I also had NetGraph 1 running so that you can kind of see exactly what it's being reported in the game, as well as the afterburner running. There's nothing else running in the background. And you'll see that, you'll drop down from, 600 to the 500s. It's just like in the last one I was doing the 1080p. I did a 720, 1080p, 1440p, and 4K. There was pretty much a ceiling between the 720p and the 1080p. There was no real reason to change because you're still going to get about the same FPS. But as you see now, here we go with the smokes again. Like we said before, it's going to drop, and it's going to drop hard because those are really stacked smokes. We all appreciate, what is it, ULethal, that put out this benchmark, but I think the smokes kind of overdo it. We really don't ever come across this many stacked smokes. In the last CSGO video I did, I also did a test of those smokes. Just to show you that just one smoke, two smokes would not actually give you that much of a hit. So you see I went down to 139 in 1080p with everything at maximum low, just bare minimums, and we still get 139. And this is on the i9 9900K CPU. This is a very CPU dependent game. In DirectX 9 they always went more with the CPU then. So as you can see here, we can only get about 504 frames per second, 504.30 if we go by the test results that CSGO gives us. But now let's take a look at the last ones I did before in CSGO. When we did it 2160p, we had about a max of 403. Let's go by the averages though. See, with a card like this, you have 251 frames per second with the average settings for 2160p. You go to 1440p, getting 362. 1080p, you're running at around 442. In 720p, you're running about 471. Now those are all max settings. All four of those are all max settings. And then the last one on the end here is one we just did, which we had a 504 average. So you're getting more frames per second, no doubt. So you do get more frames per second, and but your lowest kind of jumps around a little bit more as you start bringing those graphics down. Why does it do that? We really can't say. It all has to do with those smokes. I'm going to go ahead and play the last clip from my other video where I talked about those smokes again. So this was actually in 2160p. This was like full 4K, maxed out settings and everything, and we were getting around 330 some FPS. Now remember when we did it before, it dropped down to 34 frames per second. So in here, when we go ahead and throw this, when he throws the smokes, I throw this smoke. You see I only dropped down to like 100 and something, and before it was dropping down to 34. So I mean, that tells us right there that those smokes are definitely not just a single smoke. It's stacked up 3, 4 at 3 at minimum, and it really hits your FPS. So when you see the 139 on the lowest graphics, you're never actually going to run into an encounter in a live game that you're going to end up getting 139 frames per second. Just like the 2160p, you're never going to run into a situation where you're down to 34 unless the opposite team knows exactly where you are and like 3 or 4 of them throw a smoke at the same time. Very rare for that to possibly happen, and I've never seen it. Even watching CSGO TV and stuff like that, I have never seen anybody do that in a pro game or in an amateur game, or just for fun casuals. So you don't have to worry about that. You kind of want to more think about what the average is. A lot of people use this benchmark to get an idea of how it is between different cards, so each one of them kind of performs about the same. So you wouldn't take out any smokes or something like that and make it easier, because then it would make it look weird from the old version he had and then someone that was new one. So if he just took out a smoke, it wouldn't make any sense. Anyway, I decided to go ahead and do this video mainly because I've been doing Death Stranding. I've been playing that game and trying to come up with a way to review it without, one, giving out spoilers, and two, that game is so weird. It's a really hard game to it's a good game, but it's really hard to actually review it. So I was kind of stuck in when you guys commented and asked for the low settings on this system. Time raise, time raise. I hope I pronounced that right, and I hope you're subscribed, because if you're not, this really sucks. Just messing with you. If you don't like my content besides just these, I understand, but I do put out a lot of benchmarks, just not always in CSGO. But anyway, yeah, it was easier to do this video and trying to figure out how I was gonna review the really weird game. Anyway, I want to thank everybody for watching this video. Let me know what you think of these. What way would you actually play this? Would you play it in 4K, 1440p, 1080p, 720, or lowest graphics on any one of these? So also, I wanted to ask you guys, my CSGO viewers, what do you think of the new name? We've switched to Enforcer Gaming X, EGX. Is that better than the Enforcer 5150? I plan on doing some t-shirts. It seemed a lot better for the brand and everything else. So I'd like to know what you guys think. Anyway, I want to thank everybody for watching this video. Make sure you hit that like button. Definitely subscribe if you're new to the channel. You all take care and happy gaming.